Do you ever wake up feeling just as exhausted as when you went to bed? Like you've slept through the night, but your body didn't get the message? Or maybe it's not the mornings that bother you, it's the afternoons. You sit down for a moment, and before you know it, your eyes are heavy, your limbs feel like sandbags, and everything feels like a bit too much effort. If that sounds familiar, I want you to know something right away: you are not lazy, broken, or alone. Feeling tired all the time is incredibly common, especially after 60. But that doesn't mean it's normal, or that you have to accept it as your new reality. You see, tiredness isn't just about age. Yes, our bodies change. Hormones shift, sleep patterns evolve, and energy may not feel as steady as it once did. But the real causes of that drained, sluggish feeling often hide in plain sight. They slip into our daily routines and quietly drain the spark out of us, until one day, we forget what it even felt like to feel truly energized. That's what today's conversation is all about. In this video, we're going to gently uncover 5 powerful reasons why you might be feeling tired all the time, and how to begin turning it around, starting with small, kind changes that can bring lightness back to your days. And if you find these kinds of real, heartfelt talks about health, energy, and well-being after 60 helpful, I'd love if you could give this video a like, share it with someone who might need it, and hit that subscribe button. I'm slowly building a community here, one where age doesn't define what's possible, and where we lift each other up with knowledge, honesty, and encouragement. I'm on my way to 1,000 subscribers, and every single person here matters to me. Now let's begin with something many people overlook, something that doesn't sound very exciting at first, but could be quietly sapping your energy every single day. I'm talking about dehydration. It sounds too simple, right? But here's the thing: as we age, our bodies don't send the same thirst signals they once did. You might go hours, sometimes a whole day, without drinking much water, and not even notice it. But behind the scenes, your brain, your heart, your muscles, every part of you, is struggling just a bit harder to function. Mild dehydration doesn't always show up as thirst. It can show up as fatigue, fogginess, dizziness, and even sadness. Your body is trying to move, to think, to feel joy, but it's doing it in slow motion because it doesn't have the basic fluid it needs. One woman I spoke to, Marlene, 73, said she didn't think she had a water problem, until her daughter bought her a glass water bottle and asked her to just keep it near her during the day. Marlene began taking small sips throughout her mornings. Nothing dramatic, just slow, steady intake. Within a week, she noticed her afternoon crashes weren't quite as harsh. Her legs didn't feel as heavy on her walks. She even started singing again while she did dishes. Sometimes, it's not about doing more. It's about gently giving your body what it's been quietly asking for. And speaking of giving your body what it needs, have you ever had one of those nights where you get 7 or 8 hours of sleep, but still wake up feeling like you've barely rested? That brings us to the second reason people feel so tired all the time: poor quality sleep. Not just the number of hours, but the depth, the rhythm, and the peace behind those hours. As we grow older, the body naturally shifts into lighter sleep patterns. You might wake up more frequently to use the restroom, feel warmer or colder than usual, or even be affected by the quiet hum of anxiety in the background, about health, family, finances, or just the future in general. But here's the good news: improving your sleep isn't about chasing perfection. It's about small, loving rituals that tell your brain, you're safe now. It's okay to rest. That might mean turning off screens an hour before bed and reading a real book. Or dimming the lights in the evening to gently signal to your body that night is coming. Maybe it's as simple as a warm shower, or the scent of lavender on your pillow, or a few slow, deep breaths with your hand on your heart. These aren't luxuries, they're lifelines. And your brain responds to them more than you realize. I remember a gentleman named Paul, 68, who struggled with middle-of-the-night waking for months. What helped him wasn't sleeping pills or expensive gadgets. It was a bedtime playlist, soft music, the sound of waves, and the practice of placing both hands gently on his belly as he breathed slowly in and out for 2 minutes before bed. That simple act, every night, told his nervous system, "You're not in danger. You can let go now." And with time, he did. If you're feeling tired all the time, I want you to pause for just a second and check in with yourself. How's your water intake? How peaceful is your bedtime routine? Are you giving your body little chances to feel safe, cared for, and nourished, not just physically, but emotionally too? These questions aren't meant to blame or burden you. They're meant to open a gentle doorway. A path that invites you back to your energy, not by doing more, but by understanding more deeply what your body and mind have been trying to tell you all along. Sometimes tiredness isn't a lack of sleep or strength. Sometimes it's your soul saying, "Please listen. I need something softer. Something kinder." Now that we've looked at those quiet but powerful reasons behind everyday fatigue, let's keep going. Because here's something not many people talk about: emotional exhaustion doesn't always feel loud. Sometimes, it whispers. It shows up not as sadness or anger, but as a quiet blah. You go through the motions. You smile when you're supposed to. But deep down, there's this dull ache. A kind of inner weight that doesn't have a name. And over time, that weight pulls at your energy without you even noticing. Which brings us to the third reason many people feel tired all the time, and this one might surprise you. It's unprocessed emotional stress. Not the kind that makes your heart race in a panic, but the kind that builds up over years of caregiving, worrying, holding things together, and trying to be strong for everyone else. It's the stress that lives in your shoulders, your jaw, your stomach. The kind that doesn't shout, but still steals your energy one drop at a time. I once spoke to a woman named June, 71. She told me she didn't really feel stressed, but she always felt tired and heavy in the mornings. When we talked more, she shared that her husband had passed away 4 years earlier, and that she'd never really cried. Not fully. She'd kept herself busy, volunteering, gardening, doing everything for her grandkids, but inside, she'd been holding her breath. Day after day. Year after year. Her tiredness wasn't just physical, it was emotional weariness. And when she began writing little notes to him each night, just a few sentences to say what she missed or remembered, something shifted. She began sleeping more deeply. Her mornings didn't feel as gray. It wasn't magic, it was release. You see, your body doesn't forget what your heart carries. And if you've spent years being the strong one, the calm one, the dependable one, you might be carrying a quiet weight you've never even named. The fix? It doesn't have to be dramatic. Maybe it's journaling for 5 minutes a day, or talking to someone you trust. Maybe it's just letting yourself cry in the shower without apologizing to anyone. Letting go doesn't make you weak, it makes you lighter. And when you're lighter, energy begins to return, slowly but surely. Now, speaking of weight, let's gently talk about another reason that might be keeping you tired, and this one's very physical. It's blood sugar imbalance. And no, I'm not just talking about diabetes or major medical diagnoses. Even without a formal condition, our blood sugar can dip and spike in ways that mess with our energy, especially as we age. Here's how it works. You wake up, maybe you have something sweet or just a cup of coffee. Your energy spikes, and then crashes a couple hours later. That crash can feel like irritability, fogginess, or the urge to nap right after lunch. Or maybe you skip meals and then eat a big one late in the day, and suddenly your body is scrambling to balance everything. These swings take a toll, and the more they happen, the more your energy feels unpredictable. The fix isn't to follow some strict diet or count every carb. It's much simpler, and more human than that. Try starting your day with something that includes both protein and fiber. Maybe a boiled egg with a slice of whole grain toast. Maybe some Greek yogurt with a few berries and almonds. These are small, doable changes that help your blood sugar stay steady, so your energy stays steady too. And remember, food is not just fuel, it's rhythm. Your body loves rhythm. It loves knowing when the next meal is coming, and what to expect. So if you've been skipping breakfast or waiting until late in the afternoon to eat something meaningful, your body might be in a kind of survival mode all the time. It's protecting you the best way it can, but that protection comes at the cost of real energy. One man I spoke with, Arthur, 76, told me he used to just have black coffee until lunch, and by noon, he was exhausted, cranky, and couldn't focus on anything. Once he started adding a little breakfast, nothing big, just some peanut butter on toast, he said his whole day shifted. His mornings felt calmer, his thinking clearer. And all it took was honoring his body's request, please don't make me run on empty. Now, while we're talking about rhythm and energy, let's talk about one of the sneakiest culprits of chronic tiredness, lack of meaningful stimulation. And this one can feel a little tricky. Because when you're already tired, the last thing you feel like doing is going out or trying something new. But here's the twist, sometimes, the very thing that recharges your energy, is engaging your mind and heart in new, meaningful ways. Our brains crave novelty, connection, a sense of purpose. And when every day starts to feel the same chair, same news, same routine, it's like your inner light begins to dim. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but because your spirit isn't being fed. I knew a retired librarian, Helen, who once told me she felt like her days were just gray. She wasn't depressed, but she wasn't excited either. She started taking a short online watercolor class just once a week, nothing fancy, just for fun. That little spark, something to look forward to, something new to learn, started to ripple into the rest of her life. Her posture improved. Her voice sounded lighter. Her friends noticed it before she did. The point is, you don't need to go skydiving or run a marathon to feel alive again. Sometimes, it's enough to learn one new thing. Call someone you haven't spoken to in a while. Write a letter. Visit a museum, even virtually. Your mind is not tired, it's hungry. And when we feed our minds with curiosity and gentle challenges, the body responds. Because energy isn't just physical, it's emotional, creative, even spiritual. Now, as we breathe into everything we've talked about so far, take a moment and check in. Not to judge or fix anything, but to simply notice. Are there small places in your life where your energy might be leaking away unnoticed? Is there something, water, rest, release, nourishment, stimulation, that you've been quietly craving? These aren't questions to rush. They're invitations. Quiet doors that lead you back to your own energy, not the energy of your 30s or 40s, but the energy of your true, present self. The one who still wants to laugh, connect, and greet the day with a sense of calm purpose. Let's keep exploring this path together. Because sometimes, even when we're drinking enough water, eating nourishing meals, sleeping better, and exploring new things, there's still this sense of tiredness that lingers. A kind of fatigue that doesn't quite go away, no matter how many habits we tweak. And in those moments, we often forget to ask one final, deeply important question. When was the last time I moved, really moved, in a way that felt good, not punishing? That's the fifth piece of this quiet puzzle. Physical inactivity, or moving in a way that's disconnected from joy, can leave the body feeling stiff, the mind cloudy, and the heart restless. And no, I'm not talking about going to the gym or power walking around the block until you're breathless. I mean gentle, intentional, soulful movement, something your body actually enjoys, something that feels like an invitation, not a chore. It might be as simple as a 10-minute morning stretch by the window. Or swaying to your favorite old song in the living room. or walking barefoot on the grass. Just that simple act of shifting your body, waking up your muscles, opening your lungs, feeling your feet on the earth, can tell your nervous system, I'm here. I'm alive. I want to move with life, not against it. One man, Dan, 69, used to joke that he had the flexibility of a rusted door hinge. Every morning, he would sit hunched over coffee, feeling more like a robot than a person. But then, on a whim, he started doing 5 slow circles with his arms every morning. Just that, nothing fancy. He'd reach up, then out, then down. And as the weeks passed, those circles became his ritual. His body began to loosen. His neck stopped aching. His energy started to rise, not from effort, but from flow. Movement doesn't just stretch the body, it stirs the soul. When we stop moving, especially after 60, our energy doesn't just slow, it stagnates. But when we move gently, with kindness and awareness, something magical happens, fatigue starts to fade, and vitality quietly returns. Now, I want you to pause with me for just a moment and take a deep breath. Not a shallow one. A real one. In through the nose, and out through the mouth. Let your shoulders soften. Let your jaw loosen. Let your mind be still, if only for a breath. You don't have to fix everything today. You don't have to be perfect. You're allowed to be tired, and you're allowed to heal from it. Because healing tiredness isn't about pushing harder or doing more. It's about listening. It's about asking, what part of me have I been ignoring? Is it the part that's thirsty for water and rest? The part that's still carrying grief or worry from years ago? The part that's been running on sugar highs and caffeine crashes? Or maybe it's the part of you that misses laughter, color, novelty. The part that wants to feel useful, seen, loved, not just busy or productive. You're not tired because you're old. You're not tired because you're lazy. You're tired because your body, your mind, and your heart have been doing their best with what they've had. And maybe, just maybe, they've been whispering for a gentler kind of attention. So now, with all the pieces we've talked about, hydration, sleep, emotional release, steady nourishment, gentle movement, I want you to take just one. One that felt like it spoke to you. And this week, try it. Not all 5. Just one. Try drinking water as a daily kindness. Try turning off the TV an hour before bed and listening to a peaceful song. Try stepping outside and lifting your arms to the sky, even if only for a moment. And as you try it, watch what shifts. Not just in your body, but in your spirit. Because when we start meeting our real needs, not the loud, urgent ones, but the soft, neglected ones, we begin to feel different. Lighter. Brighter. Less tired, and more alive. And if this conversation meant something to you, if you saw a part of yourself in it, I'd love to hear about it. Share your thoughts or your own journey in the comments below. What has helped you reclaim your energy? Or what's one small habit you're curious to try after watching this? And if you haven't already, go ahead and click that like button, and consider subscribing to the channel. Every subscriber helps grow this little community of people who believe that life after 60 isn't a slow fade, but a second bloom. You deserve to wake up with energy that feels real. You deserve days filled with meaning, joy, and calm confidence. You deserve rest that heals you, and movement that brings you back to life. And every step toward that energy starts with awareness, with listening, and with love. So here's to small changes with big ripples. To honoring the body you're in. To living fully, deeply, joyfully, at any age. You're not alone. You're just getting started.